There it is. This is bad news. My God.
Falling out right now.
Anything could happen. Get on! Wow. I'll watch the video later. Ain't dry mopping this. Well, we didn't really get much for snow here in Wells, unfortunately. I think areas of the Caribou did, but not much. Some, like I said, some came through. Some falling down in the Monashees right now. Some falling down mostly east of Revelstoke out towards the Shuswap. A little bit down there towards the cusp, over by Vancouver, Vancouver Island. Pounding in pretty good there, that Pacific moisture. But really it's that low. It's just sort of sitting there off the coast right now. It's going to kind of weaken off, but it's just sort of spinning there right now and delivering towards Washington State, towards Oregon north. A lot of it's Pacific energy. As it dissipates off, though, and that sort of plays itself out over the next 24 hours down in southern BC, we will then henceforth have a little bit of a dry spell quickly before we come into a pattern. More and more of the storms pounding in. Unfortunately, for those of you in Fort St. John, you're still looking at minus 40 wind chills and beyond tonight. It will improve soon for you. You're just on the wrong side of the Rockies, man. That's your problem. On this side of the Rockies, although chilly and maybe for a lot of places slightly below seasonal, still, it's much more moderated. We much more have the influence of the Pacific working its way into these regions and making it quite lovely this afternoon here, actually. It was above zero in Wells, and I quite enjoyed myself being outside for the time I was. Should have been more time. I was busy just political ranting, and I'm sorry, but I so care about my country right now in a way that I didn't know I was capable of. You know, I've never really been a patriot, but I feel very patriotic right now. Nonetheless, you don't have to watch that if you don't want to. For the rest of you, go check that out. Meanwhile, by the time we get to late Tuesday night and into Wednesday, going to see some snow sort of pounding into the province as low pressure system. Next one arrives, deepens a little bit, and sits there off the Olympic Peninsula, sort of a targets that area. This is going to open the door, though, more and more for this Pacific push, this Pacific thrusting of warmer air, of more, Hawaiian direction located weather, right? So we're seeing the very end of, and what could be very soon the end of our coldest weather we're going to see until next winter for a lot of us, especially the further south you go. Chance of there being an Arctic outbreak again that makes some of southern BC that cold. That will diminish pretty quick as we go further and further into the towards spring. Meteorological spring is on the 1st of March, right? So that sun is getting high quickly. We're moving towards a change on Earth in whether or not we hit the solstice. So when we get this snow on Wednesday, I don't think it's, again, going to be a great deal, but it's going to start changing the story for us. It's going to start opening the door for the Pacific pounding that we so desperately need. And, the fire season outlook right now is making me nervous because a lot of places in BC are below average snow, or they have none whatsoever, so we need a lot of moisture to really push in over this next 2 months while we still have that chance to put on snowpack in the mountains. I'm very concerned about the long-term prognosis, not even particularly for this summer, but in the years ahead still. Are we going to come into a increasingly dry spell in BC? So it's good to see this change for at least the next 2 weeks. We're going to see quite a continuation of one storm, two storm, red storm, blue storm, one after another coming in at us. So that should help at least. It'll help us start picking up and keeping pace for how much snow we should be putting on. So I was saying in one of my videos before, if there's a statistical average, this is how much snow is the average at this time. Going through the days, it's like should get this much snow through this month. The pack should grow by this much. And before we're like a flat line, not increasing with it. Now we might parallel that rate of growth, unfortunately, not making up for the amount of snow that we should have. Right? So it's a positive, but it's not so far looking like we're going to turn the corner yet. But I mean, that there's hope. There's hope. There's hope because we have more snow than last year, at least. There's hope because, spring can set in differently than we think. We don't know what'll happen. We know the La Nina is expected to fade quick. How that changes the flow into BC, no one rightly knows. Wow, yeah, I just put that last video out and my subscriptions just went down by like 15 or 20 people. So it's disappointing, but I don't know. I can't help it. I gotta say something. I feel like we're just so under pressure now to only speak a certain narrative. And as a science person who loves science, I really care about truth. I want to get the forecasts right. I want to get everything right. So I'm sorry if I offend you when it comes to my ideas about the world, but I'm not paid for by anybody. I'm not owned by anybody. There's no producer over me telling me what I should think or say. There's no corporate dollars or advertising sponsors telling me think this way, talk that way. You got to say this, you got to do that. I don't represent any political party. I don't believe in any of the parties outright. I've voted differently at different times for different reasons. I just beg you to be on the right side. Like, share, and subscribe. Tell a friend. Share the videos. And speak out. Speak out. Keep speaking out. Speak out as much as you can, because we need it now more than ever. Okay, friends. We'll talk to you soon. Bye now.